chat, and then I'll just take this and leave this page.
Good evening, everyone. I am Colonel David West, the Chief of Staff at the New Mexico Military Institute, also known as NMMI, located in Roswell, New Mexico. We're so glad you could join us tonight, and we are excited that you are going to join us for the upcoming school year as well. Tonight is an opportunity for our families to ask questions about what to expect when returning to the post this fall. We would like to review some of the basic procedures with you, then answer any questions you might have. Before we begin, I would like to give a very big warm welcome to our 20th President and Superintendent, Brigadier General Voris W. McBurnett, Doctorate in Education, who has started just a few weeks ago his journey here at NMMI. General McBurnett has served as a leader in higher education, secondary education, and military education for over 3 decades. His most recent service as a division commander of the 100th Division, U.S. Army Reserve, where he led more than 4,000 soldiers and civilians by providing education, training, and mentorship to future Army leaders. His extensive background in education includes both the classroom and administration. We are extremely privileged to have him as part of our team in the NMI family here, as well as his wife. We would love for you to welcome everyone this evening, sir.
Thank you, David. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to connect with you all online for this live question and answer session. I appreciate the warm welcome I've received at NMMI since I've been here at the beginning of the month. Thank you, Colonel West, for facilitating this session and all of you for your participation. I'm excited to be here, and I look forward to getting to know each of you better. I am eager to share my vision for NMMI and discuss how we can work together to achieve our goals. My focus will be on building a strong foundation of excellence, building on that strong foundation of excellence that NMMI is known for. To do this, I believe in the importance of open communication and transparency. Sessions like these are vital parts of staying connected to the NMMI community. As we move forward, I'm committed to working with all of you to create a brighter future for you at NMMI. Together, we can continue to uphold and enhance the values and traditions that make NMMI exceptional. Let me turn things back over to Colonel West so that we can begin our tonight's question and answers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'd also like to introduce you to some of NMI's other administrators, and they will each introduce themselves to you. First, we have Lieutenant Colonel Arthur Hopeby, who's the Deputy Commandant of Support. We also have the Vice Dean of Academics, Colonel Jose Porras. He's also your high school principal. And then Athletics Director, Colonel Jose Barron, and the Chief Financial Officer, Colonel Dina Kernet. They're all online with us tonight. I want to remind you to have questions during this event by posting them directly on the YouTube chat or on social media using hashtag AskNMMI. So, all right, let's get started. Just a quick reminder of the cadets for our new cadets orientation. So you might want to grab a pen and pencil and write some of these things down. New International Cadets Orientation. They will arrive on July 28th for 2 days of orientation on the 29th and 30th. Contact Leticia Gracia at nmmi.edu. That's GRACIA at nmmi.edu. If you haven't done so, to schedule transportation if needed. New domestic cadets will be on via Zoom on July 23rd at 1800. All domestic accepts should have already been provided the link. If not, please contact admissions and they'll give you that link. Some other key dates are the matriculation dates forthcoming. The cadre arrived this Friday, July 19th. We're excited to have them back. July 25th, Bronco football and Service Academy preps begin to come as well. July 29th, Bronco volleyball football. July 31st, junior college matriculation and new international cadets. And a reminder, that very evening, July 31st, we have a parents orientation at Pearson at 7 p.m. And finally, August 1st, all high school cadets and old cadets, August 11th. Remember to contact your designated global enrollment counselor in case you still have pending documents to submit. It is important for all cadets to have their documentation in place before your arrival. Colonel Kernet, please tell our cadets and parents what they need to do regarding any financial obligations.
Hello, I'm Dina Kernet. I have 3 things I'd like to share with you to make matriculation day less worrisome or exhausting. You should have received a pre-bill sent by our business office and your financial advisor. I would like you to sign and return the business office policies form to your financial advisor or the business office. The next thing I'd like you to do is to sign up for the payment plan or pay in full by July 25th. There are instructions online. There's instructions in your pre-bill. Please take care of that as soon as possible. And the third thing is, please remember to contact your financial advisor with any questions at any time that we are available, and they'd love to meet you and help get you through this time to get you all enrolled and ready to go for the first day of matriculation.
Thank you very much for that. A lot of cadets want to know what they should pack and whether or not there are things they cannot have. First of all, you can find the information on our website, nmmi.edu. You click on the campus life and click on parents. Scroll down and under cadet contract for academy year 24-25, and you will find the information. It's listed as required, authorized, unauthorized, and issue items. This should give you a pretty good list to get your packing done initially. Colonel Hopeby, families often ask, what are some of the other creature comforts from home that cadets can bring?
Yeah, Good evening. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Art Hootby. I'm the Deputy Commandant for support. For as creature comforts that the cadets need, please understand that your cadets are going to be sharing a 10 by 12 room with another cadet that's full of very big, some bulky furniture. So keep that in mind with whatever you want to bring from home. Important to follow the things that are on the packing list, especially if you want to bring a pillow, bring a blanket. Cadets are going to be encouraged to bring their own electronics if they want to bring their own, especially a phone, their personal computer or device. Just asking cadets not to bring big, heavy additional furniture, flat screen TVs, or refrigerators. The cadets get a feel for the other things that they would like to have. If you got small personal items that they like to have, they have a personal locker to keep things in. Just keep them small and be respectful of the space that they're sharing with another cadet.
Thank you very much. Also, I'll ask from an academic standpoint, Colonel Porras, are there any things, textbooks, etc., that cadets need to bring, materials there that they need to bring for their academic endeavors? Colonel Porras, you're muted, sir.
Good evening. I'm Colonel Jose Porras, Vice Dean High School Principal. I will stress that main thing you need to bring from the academic standpoint is binders, notebooks, pens, pencils, and file separators. Within each class, you'll be given a syllabus and a list of what to and what is required for each course. So, but the main thing and important thing would be those that I have listed. And another thing I would stress a calendar to basically keep track of dates and times and stay organized. Or quick, or should I say, main points that you should stay focused on.
Thank you, Colonel Porras. Colonel Hootby, a concern for many cadets as they prepare for the fall is that they won't know anyone else as they arrive at NMMI. We'd like to assure you that most all of our cadets are in the same position, and it doesn't take long to start making friends. Let's talk about ways that cadets can start to meet other cadets, sir. Sir, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm doing the same thing. The first thing I would like to point out is that our Star Res housing system, which is we're going to our second year of, a lot of cadets have already taken advantage of that. If your cadet hasn't already gone in, hasn't already received an email from Star Res, or please look in your spam and deleted files. Should have received an email from the Star Res housing system. This gives the cadets to create a profile and pick their own roommate. In doing so, cadets, our inbound cadets, get to know each other online or virtually before actually arriving, and they get to know each other's personalities. On day one, once they get here, they're going to start matriculating. It's very much an assembly line style. However, in between stations, the new cadets are going to start talking to each other and starting to know each other very well. And throughout the training and the shared experiences, there's opportunities for them to get to know each other. And earnestly, by the end of the first week, those new cadets that they're meeting for the first time are going to be the best of friends.
Thank you, Colonel Hootby. Also, what can a cadet expect in their RAT weeks? What does being a RAT at NMMI mean? Okay,
so a RAT is actually a recruit at training. And so what do you expect that first week is introductory to military customs, courtesies, and also the traditions here at NMMI. Your cadet is likely going to do some push-ups. Your cadet is likely going to mess up, and somebody's probably going to yell at him. That's going to be true, but understand that every cadet is going to be treated with fairness and dignity and respect at all times.
And Colonel Hootby, what are the electronics policy overall, and specifically during RAT period?
During the RAT period, the cadets up until the first day of classes, cadets are not going to have a whole lot of time to be on their electronic devices. We do not confiscate, we do not take away any of the cadets' electronic devices, so they're allowed to have them. And in fact, on matriculation day, we expect them to have their cell phone with them so they can register their computer. And it's also used, their cell phones and personal devices are used extensively on the academic side of the house. What we've changed our policy to, which was previously, as it was written in our blue book, is cadets were not allowed to have their cell phones during the day. We realized, one, that's not real life. If you could just imagine that you had to leave your cell phone at home when you left home and you weren't allowed to use it until you got back home that night, that's not really the way life is. So cadets, we've changed the policy from that you shall not have it to cell phone etiquette. So we emphasize responsible use and courtesy when using your cell phones. For example, you can have your cell phone on your person, but you need to have it on silent or vibrate in class. So again, a lot of cell phone etiquette and how to use your electronics devices appropriately. What also falls into electronic devices, your personal computers, game systems, and such. Cadets can have those devices. Just we ask them again to use them responsibly.
Thank you. Let's take a look at a core video real quick, kind of showing everybody what it's like to be a part of the core here at NMMI. Thank you very much. Colonel Barone, let's talk about our sports program a little bit. What athletes need to report early, and is there any specific forms cadets need to fill out in order to participate in athletic programs?
Good evening. I'm Jose Barron. I'm the Director of Athletics. Welcome to the chat for everybody tonight. Colonel West, multiple answers to that. Depends on whether you're a junior college or high school athlete, fall or spring sports. So if you're a fall athlete at the college level, really any college athlete, you should have already been in contact with your coach or the coaching staff to give you an actual arrival date, maybe even time. So stay tuned for that from your coach. High school football players have the option of coming in early this year. Again, get in contact with Coach O'Mara about actual time of arrival. It again is an optional thing for new cadets, not required this year. So those are certainly available for the fall. The other thing, there's a lot of questions about the fall sports. All of our coaches, or most of our coaches, will be available at matriculation to help cadets, guide cadets through initiating their sports process. Cross country coach will be there, the basketball coach, etc. Some of the late fall coaches will be. But bottom line is, if you're interested in a sport, we're gonna make sure that you have an opportunity to sign up. Paperwork, again, it differs for junior college and high school. All high school students must fill out this very specific athletics paperwork. Those links have gone out. If you have not gotten the link, please email us. You can email sports@nmmi.edu and we will get you the link to the specific paperwork. Unfortunately, if you're a high school athlete and if you've had an entrance physical for other purposes for admission, you will still have to have the NMMI or the NMAA, the Activities Association, specific physical and paperwork. It's a packet about 10 pages long. And again, we will have those packets at matriculation, but if you have those pre-populated and filled out, we'll certainly make things go a little bit quicker. If you are a cadet that is a non-freshman, first-time freshman, we also will require some transfer paperwork. And again, we'll have help with that at the matriculation desk on your matriculation day. Colonel West, did I miss part of that question?
No, I think that's it on that one. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the cadets and their families on athletics?
Well, just to remind everybody that physical fitness is one of our 3 key elements here at NMMI, and we encourage everybody to participate in a sport. Again, at the college level, we're very deliberate with what we do. If you are interested in one of those sports and haven't yet contacted one of our coaches, please do so. NMMIathletics.com has the links to all of our coaches' emails, so contact the college coach. High school, we will be available the whole year. We have, again, fall, winter, and spring sports. We encourage you to try. What we tell our high school cadets is that if you commit to a program, we'll commit to you. We'll do our best to develop you. Even if you've never played that particular sport, we will do our best. As long as you follow the rules, we intend to keep you and develop you over time to become one of our athletes. The other thing that I'll remind everybody is that physical fitness is a requirement. So you're either going to be doing a sport or you'll be in the mandatory core physical training program. So again, if that's what you want to do, that's wonderful. Otherwise, do encourage you to try a sport, even if if no history of the sport is no reason not to try it. We want you to try, and we want to help you become a better athlete in whatever sports you want to try. And yes, you can play multiple sports.
Thank you, Colonel Barone. Before we shift gears, let's take a look at a video of a few of our athletics programs on post and what you have to look forward to as a player or even a spectator this coming year. Thank you very much. Now let's take a little bit of time with our academics. We'll continue to provide our cadets the support they need to be successful academically. Some of these things include night study hall, peer tutoring, access to an academic advisor. Colonel Porras, would you elaborate on parent access and student expectations?
Yes, good evening. Once again, this is Colonel Porras. I'm the Vice Dean High School Principal. New Mexico Military Institute is a high school curriculum. It's college prep. Requires 23 credits to graduate. All students must take a math placement exam to be placed into the algebra sequence that we have here at NMMI, and it must be completed here at NMMI. Classes are selected based upon grade level and math placement and transfer credit approval. One thing I will stress, all parents will receive a self-service invite the second week of classes. All of their counselors will have the students send them an invitation during their seminar classes. If they do not receive anything, then the parents need to email their student counselors. SAC, which is the Franklin Counseling and Student Assistance Center, is the home of the high school academic counselors. Each one of the cadets will be assigned a counselor, or should I say academic advisor. SAC counselors and advocates they are advocates for cadets and directly support their social and emotional and academic development and achievement with direct interventions and services and all the resources that we have here at NMMI. Parents, you will not have direct access to Canvas, but one thing that we try to do is keep you well informed of how our cadets are doing, or should I say your cadet is doing. If parents feel that their cadet needs additional support, they just need to reach out to the academic counselors, as they will be sending them a list of all their support services, as well as the independent tutor list that we have here at NMMI. On another note, not just academically, I know Colonel Boron and Colonel Hopeby touched base on this, but the extracurricular activities, students that are interested in extracurricular activities, they can go sign up for clubs that we have here at NMMI. During our club activity fair, an email will be sent to inform cadets on that date and location of the event. So cadets need to just continue to stay on top of their tasks and make sure they're checking their email. And I repeat, checking their email. That's one thing that I will stress here at NMMI. And not only checking their email, but one of the things that I forgot to mention on the supplies needed, I would stress a watch and an alarm clock. So, but watch, alarm clock, and make sure you check your email on a daily basis. And by that, I mean once in the morning, once at noon, and once in the afternoon, because that's how we communicate here. It's not just he said, she said, it's check your email. Okay, it is said that this is where we need to meet, or vice versa, checking your calendar and your schedule.
Thank you, Colonel Porras. It's certainly a point that technology has changed the world we're living in. Let's look at some of our academic programs here on post and what the 24-25 academic year might hold for our high school and junior college students with this video. The true strength of NMMI is the academics. You hit a little bit on the extracurriculars. Colonel Hopeby, let's talk about that a little bit. There's a number of extracurriculars. I remember a little over 50 different extracurricular activities that cadets could be involved in. I used to host the aviation club. Cadets will want to know when they can start signing up for sports and clubs and what's available. So what are the timelines and how do they find out what we have?
Yeah, starting in the second or third week of the school, there will be a cadet activity fair. It'll be scheduled and it'll be advertised to all the cadets. And every cadet activity, there's somewhere around 50. There's an ebb and flow as cadets' interest that support cadets' interest. And the cadet activities range everything from the venturing club, which is Boy Scouts. They go out camping, to ham radio operators. Mentioned the aviation club, drill. We even have a cooking baking club. So there's something for everybody. And if there isn't something that really spurs a cadet's interest, all he needs to do is find 10 other cadets and a sponsor, and there's a new club.
Okay, thank you. And speaking of that, sometimes cadets say, well, I want to join 8 different clubs. I mean, we have a limit, right? And kind of hold them to a couple.
Yeah, yes, we encourage the cadets to participate in as much as they can, but also maintain some balance. If they're doing so many clubs that they're not getting their studies done, or they can't fully participate in, or that it becomes a distraction, then we encourage them to taper off to something that's much more manageable.
Thank you. There are so many activities and clubs for our cadets to engage in, and both on and off post. Let's take a look at this quick video to see how our cadets connect with the community and one another at NMMI. Colonel Hopi, let's talk about the type of religious services, church services that are offered for our cadets. Can they leave post and go to churches both here on the post and in town?
Yes, every Sunday we have a Catholic mass as well as a non-denominational service. We also have good relationships with local churches and churches, temples, and mosques. The local synagogue has moved to Carlsbad, but we have a relationship with that'll support any cadet's religious preference. And yes, we have the relationship with those churches that sponsor volunteers that'll come and host those cadets to take them to those church services.
Thank you. And one thing we want to point out about basic health and safety at NMMI, certainly we have a police force here. We have the infirmary here 24/7 for our cadets. But, the main contact that the parents might have with concerns over health and safety is our assigned TLAs. Colonel Hopi, talk about the role of a TLA, what that acronym means, how our families and cadets might interact with them, sir.
Yeah, so every troop has a troop leadership advisor. College has one troop leadership advisor per college troop, and every high school has two troop leadership advisors. They are probably going to solve about 90% or be able to answer about 99% of the questions. That'd probably be the first stop for parents to call. That troop leadership advisor is just exactly what the name implies. They are the leadership advisor and the first point of contact for all the cadets for everything that happens outside of the classroom, which is earnestly a significant part of their day and weekends. We have someone available in that cadet's chain of command, available during from Reveille up until almost TAPS, and then at night we have night accountability officers that are available to respond to any kind of problems. But again, that troop leadership advisor is your primary point of contact for everything that's going on with your cadet outside the classroom, and they're the first one that's going to be monitoring anything, any concerns that your cadet may have, trouble adjusting, learning military life, learning the rank structure, customs, courtesies, and things like that here at NMMI.
Thank you very much. Well, one of my favorite things is all of the support services that are out there as well, Colonel Hopi. Let's talk about maybe the food in the mess hall, laundry services, furloughs, time off posts, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we provide 4 meals a day: a breakfast, lunch, and an evening meal, and then we also have what we refer to as a fourth meal, which is a snack before sending everybody to bed. The dining hall will accommodate all dietary restrictions. There's no issues whether it's an allergy, a dietary preference, or a religious restriction on food. We'll give the instructions on how to do that exactly, but the summary of it is they will get a sticker that puts on their cadet ID card, and they'll stand in their own separate line. And the dining hall services will get very familiar with the cadets and make sure that they're getting the meals that are being prepared for them. The laundry services, laundry is included in your fees and tuition. So anything that needs to be dry cleaned, they can drop it off. This is all their uniform items are expected to be dry cleaned at our contract cleaners. But all personal items are also included. So the cadets drop off their personal clothes, underwear, undershorts, their PT gear, and it'll be laundered for them. There's a 2-day turnaround. So if they turn it in on Monday, they'll get it back no later than Wednesday. Now, also understand that the laundry service is not open on the weekend. So if they have to drop it off on Friday, it may be until Tuesday before they actually receive those items back. There's a guarantee. Since I've been here, I haven't lost a single item. Every item has got receives a barcode and is coded to that individual cadet. Oftentimes what we have is a cadet's roommate will turn in their roommate's items, and then they go back down and they try to figure out where are all the items that they turned in. Well, because it's barcoded to their roommate, it's there for the roommate to pick up. Other questions will come up about furloughs. I would reference the calendar. Look for those first events that are coming up. For example, the Parents' Weekend on the 31st through 2 September. That's the first opportunity that the cadets, the RATs, are going to be able to be authorized to leave. One of the first opportunities for the cadets to leave post. That's also a good long weekend for the parents to enjoy time with their cadets. Time off campus. I would look at those upcoming events that are on the calendar. Encourage families to come to the cresting ceremony, the Parents' Weekend, homecoming. Come to those events and enjoy the NMMI experience with your cadet.
Thank you very much. And one thing we want to make clear for our families is, if your cadet is here at NMI and gets sick while they're here, they certainly will be taken care of and by licensed healthcare providers. We contract with those. They're here. We have 2 hospitals within a quarter mile of the post. I hope to never take anybody there, but if it's needed, we certainly can. One of the things that's often brought up, of course, is about medications. My cadets bringing medications. Colonel Barone, you're close to this as a professional athletic trainer. So can you discuss a little bit about how the medications are managed here at NMMI?
Yes, sir. So at NMMI, the infirmary very closely monitors cadets' medications, all medications, but particularly prescription medications. When you come to matriculation, the infirmary is going to ask that you show all medications that you have with you, prescription and non-prescription, up to and including vitamins and supplements. It's best that we have a login of everything that a cadet takes. So if you are on prescription medications, many of those will be managed directly by the infirmary, which means certain categories of medications will be kept at the infirmary, and the cadet will come in at the assigned times to take that medication on a regular basis. So again, the infirmary will have their own desk at the matriculation day, and they will sort through all those things and tell you what is necessary as far as whether you'll take your medications on your own and keep them with yourself, or whether it's a medication that must be controlled and kept stored at the infirmary. Again, just make sure that those are properly labeled, and all prescription medications must be in the original labeled container when you bring them.
Thank you. So that kind of concludes our portion, but let's take a few questions. We have a few moments here to do that. Start out with one here of our favorites. Colonel Hopi is someone's wanting to know if they cut their hair before they arrive, are we going to cut their hair for them? Or is that included in their fees, or just welcome to NMI? How do we?
Their haircuts are included in their fees. Unless they show up with my haircut, they're going to receive a haircut when they arrive on post.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, cadets are encouraged to use our barber shop. They will cut the cadets' hair in standards. They will only be required to have a rat cut on matriculation day, and then they can grow their hair out to our NMMI standards, which for males is a max length of 2 inches on top. I will note that female grooming standards are a little bit more complicated, and I would reference you to go to the Blue Book and see that.
Roger that. And that's always a highlight, is the haircuts, that families know the barber is here on post, so cadets can get them all the time. Colonel Barone, there's a question here about cadets enrolling in sports programs. Are they offered each quarter or semester? How does that work?
So we have, I think I might have mentioned, it's 3 primary seasons: fall, spring, and fall, winter, and spring. So there is some overlap. You can join more than one sport, but typically you can't play in more than one season. So if you're a football player, for instance, or a volleyball player, you've got to wait till those seasons are over till you join swimming, or any other winter sport. So same thing for the winter. So yes, multiple sports are allowed, but only one at a time. The other thing, of course, to remember is that our coaches will be there in the fall at the fall matriculation. So they're the ones that can ask questions about actual start dates and times for the non-fall sports. Fall sports will start within days of a cadet's arrival here. Some of them will literally start that night. So coaches will be there to give you actual times and places for those that are not starting immediately.
Thank you. Colonel Porras, there's a question here. Let's see. I'm sorry, Colonel Hopi. I'm sorry. So again, about the explanation about cadets going online and choosing their roommates, is that they choose them by name or they choose by interests?
Yeah, it's by interest. So again, you should have received something through StarRes, and this is where you can create a roommate profile, and then you can look for people that have similar interests as you. You can put in a request to room with that cadet, because you have a number of things in common with them. If you don't fill out a profile, we're going to try to find a best match for you. There's no guarantees that that's going to actually go. It's not actually guaranteed, but we've done our best to fill all those requests. But there's some things that we don't want to do. We do not want to put family members together, siblings, cousins, things like that. And we also don't want to put people that are so diametrically opposed that they're not going to be able to get along through the semester. We've had a lot of positive feedback about the StarRes system and being able to build your roommate profile. And we've had some really successful matches there. But don't worry, you'll get to know your roommate pretty well, whether you pick them or not.
And a follow on there, Colonel Hopi, are new cadets restricted from connecting with their family or family members during the first few weeks that they're there? How does that work?
No, they're not going to be restricted from contacting family members. The days of confiscating cell phones until after Rat Week are gone. So your cadet will have access to their cell phone. They will have an NMMI email account set up on day one. They will be sending home a postcard on day one when they matriculate. So they'll have access to email. They'll have access to text message. They'll have access to their phone number. They'll have access to regular snail mail. A thing to keep in consideration is they're going to be busy all day long, and there's only have a limited amount of free time at night where they're going to have opportunity to stop and actually send or respond to a text message. So even though it's not restricted directly, just with the time constraints that the cadets have, they don't have a whole lot of time to be on their phones during the day. And so that quiet hours at night, that personal time at night, where they're going to have to shower, shave, prepare for the next day, is their very limited window to be able to talk during that first couple of weeks of RAT training. After that, once cadets start classes, they'll get into a normal battle rhythm or a normal schedule where they can contact families much more often.
And a follow-on to that one is, does the cadet number need to be on all things brought in or just the clothing items?
Asking for the cadets to put their cadet number on their luggage. Anything that they put in the laundry I already mentioned, is going to be barcoded to that individual cadet. But I would we're going to ask for them to put their name and their cadet number on all of their belongings or all the luggage that they bring in. We're also going to you're also going to see a manila tag put on everything that they bring in. So if they have a loose item like an ironing board that they didn't put in their bag, or a broom, something like that, that's going to be tagged, but it's helpful to put the cadet's name and cadet number on it.
Thank you. I'll take this next question. It says cadets need to bring their own computer. Well, sometime back, we made a determination to help our cadets and their families by providing all the cadets a laptop computer. The academic group decides what level that should do, what performance it should have, and our IT group works to acquire those laptops. The reason that's done is a couple points. Number one is you don't have to go out and buy a $1,500 computer with who knows what software, and it's got to be a gamer, of course. And when it breaks down, you don't get that famous phone call that says, okay, Mom, what do I do with this? And you say, I don't know who works on them there. And of course, we're not allowed to work on private computers. So your cadet could go simply to the IT desk and here in Lusk Hall and simply exchange one computer for another if it were to break down. But everything they need to be successful in their academic endeavors here that require a computer is on that computer. So no, the answer is you do not need to bring your computer, and we will caution you bringing electronic items. We don't want those to disappear or whatever, or break or whatever it is. So we just caution you, what you need, we provide in those computers. Then there's a question here, Colonel Hopi, for junior college cadets. Would they be able to go off the post sometimes?
Yeah, for our new cadets, we ask all the new cadets are stuck on. I don't want to say stuck on post, but I just did. Sorry about that. So all of our new cadets are going to be restricted posts up until the cresting ceremony. After the cresting ceremony is their first opportunity to leave post. College cadets and high school cadets with parent permission will be able to leave post. They will still have to check out with their TLA or a member of the commandant staff. And as long as it's as long as they're in good standing, that means they haven't gotten in trouble. They don't have tours to march, or they're on restriction for whatever reason. So it's kind of a long-winded answer to yes, they can, but there's going to be restrictions, and those will be explained to the cadets by the troop leadership advisors.
And the same goes, I assume, for the point of parents who come for the parents' weekend and have their cadets on furlough.
Correct. So on Parents' Weekend, that's an opportunity for the cadets to go off. That's the first big time for the cadets to go off post, spend overnight with their parents. They do have to have parental. They have to have the parents come communicate with their TLA to communicate that is okay, and they can spend the night off post with their parents in the local hotels if they like.
Are there any jobs on the post here for cadets?
There are. There's for the college cadets, there's some work study programs that I know they're working in. They work in admissions. They work in the coffee shop. They also work for Jose Barone over there as lifeguards. And also there's a lot of cadets. We call them cadet facilitators. You saw the pictures of the ropes course. Those are all cadet facilitators that are trained on the high ropes and low ropes course that monitor the safety. So there's opportunities for the cadets to have jobs on post. Those will be explained to the cadets, especially when we have our cadet activity fairs.
There's a question here about laundry. As you know, they understand that laundry is part of the contract done for cadets, but do they have access to washers and dryers for other times?
Yes, there is. We have limited washers and dryers for the cadets. You have to understand you have 700 cadets that are competing for seven washers and 8 dryers. Those are available from Reveille until an hour before taps. So the cadets that have a free class, or junior college cadets that don't have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are not, and also weekends. Those are opportunities where they can use those washers and dryers.
Well, and can you give us, this is a great question, can you give us a brief overview of what we can, as parents, expect on day one? And how long do parents get to stay, and what's expected of the cadets? I always see parents say, is this the last time I get to kiss Johnny goodbye or whatever? So could you explain what happens there?
Yes, it is. You'll drop them off and you'll never see them again. No, in reality, the matriculation is a long process. It'll be about 4 to 6 hours. Please show up early. Please show up on the day that you're expected to matriculate. You'll show up at Godfrey Athletic Center and you'll drop off your luggage. Everything will be tagged. We'll ask the cadets to bag any of their medicines, keep any important documents, including any important documents that they need for matriculation, and any medical documentation that they have. And then they'll start going through assembly line through all the matriculation stations. We'll have a few there in the Godfrey Athletic Center, and then they'll be broken down into groups of about 10 cadets each, and then they'll hit the on-post matriculation stations. They'll go get their haircut. They'll go get their first issue. They'll get their rooms. They'll get their get their room assignment. They'll get their computers. And as I go through each one of these things, they're going to be moved in a military fashion. And they're whenever they're at a stop, the cadre are going to be trying to teach them basic military customs, courtesies, and NMMI traditions. Parents, families can stay with their cadets through most of the stations. We'll explain to you on day one which stations you can stay with your cadets and which stations you can't. For example, in first issue, there's a lot of moving parts, and it gets pretty crowded down underneath Bates. So that was one of the places that you'll be separated from your cadet temporarily. But we'll have a staging area for the families and to rejoin and follow their cadets. Very important for the cadets or the parents or families of minors to be there for two major stations for them is medical. If you have any medical concerns, questions, documents that need to be turned in, and also the business office if there's any unpaid bills.
Thank you very much. Colonel Barron, we have one here for you. If I want to play freshman Colt football, I know you're not that desperate to let me do it, but if I want to play that, do I have to matriculate on July 29th? Do I have to notify somebody if I want to matriculate on 29th versus August 1st?
Colonel West, thank you for not trying to play freshman Colt football. But to answer this question here, you are not required to come in on the 29th, but you are absolutely invited to be here on the 29th. If you're going to be here, you can email the head football coach, or better yet, send an email to sports@nmmi.edu, and we will route the message to him. Let us know what your name is and what your cadet number is if you've already got that, and we will pass the word to the coaches. If you arrive on the 29th having not done that, I promise you we'll get you to the right place. We certainly want you here as early as possible, but either date would work.
Great, thank you. I have one here is high school parents orientation on July 31st at 7 p.m. question mark. Yes, it is. Can you share more information? Basically, that's a orientation presentation by the President Superintendent, General McBurnett, and really it's the night before your high school cadet matriculates here at NMMI. So it's kind of a shaping expectations. One of my favorite things about it is the cadets model their clothing attire. And so you get to see all of the best of modeling here at the Institute as well, and have fun with it. I did see one person asked about that in clothing, probably Colonel Hopi there, is that they saw everything except socks. Does NMI issue socks? Do they need to bring socks? What socks are allowed? That kind of thing.
Yeah, socks should be on the packing list, so they should have black dress socks. They're also going to want to have their own athletic socks when they're participating in PT. If they're in a sport, they're going to get issued several sets of the stylish rat socks or the tube socks with the red and black stripes on them. But yes, your cadet needs to bring dress socks. They will be issued rat socks.
Thank you. And Colonel Porras, when and how do cadets register for classes, specifically junior college?
Junior college cadets are assigned an advisor. They will be working with their advisor to complete their schedules. Same way as high school cadets. A high school cadet is assigned an academic advisor. And one of the beautiful things about NMMI is you start as a freshman, you start with an academic advisor, and you finish and graduate with that academic advisor. So one of the key things, you become a close friend, ally, and you're being advised in a very structured way. So, but for the most part, each cadet is assigned an advisor, whether you're high school or a JC cadet.
And when does that occur, Colonel Porras?
Currently, right now, that is currently happening with our cadets that we have returning and those that are coming. If you haven't already been, actually, when you arrive, you will receive all of the information of who your advisor is and will be.
Okay. Colonel Barone, they got a question here about supplying our locker for the cadet. I just assumed it's athletics. But what I want to point out is Colonel Barone's background is there in Cahoon Armory. We just upgraded that armory's $20 million renovation project, which includes, by the way, lockers. You want to expand on that any, Colonel Barron?
So if you're asking about lockers during the sports season, the answer is depending on the team, there are assigned lockers or assigned blocks of lockers that can be used for that. You don't necessarily get to keep a locker for an entire year. Some lockers are rotated, so it depends on your sport. But you'll learn that pretty early when you arrive.
Okay, thank you. Colonel Hoby's question about cadets arriving in their own vehicle. Can the vehicle remain on the post, and how's parking handled?
Yes, they can have their own vehicles on post. We have a cadet parking lot. Also, for those cadets, we need them to register their vehicles with campus police. Those instructions will be handled by the troop leadership advisor. There's a simple form for them to fill out. They take the form, copy of the vehicle registration down to campus police. They pay for a parking sticker. And they place that parking sticker in their vehicle, and then they're allowed to park their vehicles in the cadet parking lot.
Thank you. And one other question here is, what's the difference between a rat yearling ceremony and the rat cresting ceremony?
Okay, the yearling ceremony is the cadets that have been here for a year, or actually for a semester. This is the last ceremony that completes their rat cycle. So what you'll see on the calendar is that rat yearling ceremony. Those are our spring rats, spring of 24, that are receiving their yearling bar. The rat cresting ceremony is the conclusion of the first phase of rat training, where they receive their NMMI crest. And this marks them as completing that first phase of rat training, and they're cadet authorized to wear the NMMI crest and uniform.
And question follow on, does the parents' weekend that you mentioned first, does that begin on Friday evening or morning? And when does it end on the following Sunday?
The schedule will be pushed out in detail as we get closer to it, but the parents' weekend will usually begin Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and then we'll have the cadet cresting ceremony on Saturday, usually on Saturday morning. Then we'll let the cadets go by that afternoon. If you also look at the calendar goes all the way through September 2nd with no classes. So it'll likely end after the end that Monday afternoon before the evening meal, and it'll start immediately after the cresting ceremony on that Saturday. So that Saturday morning we'll have the cresting ceremony. Cadets can go off campus and be expected to return Monday afternoon before the evening meal.
All right, thank you very much. And the question: can parents walk with cadets during the the matriculation?
Yeah, again, cadets and families can stay with their cadets. Cadets will be marching in a formation. Families are allowed to tag along, but not join the formation.
And where does their luggage go after they unpack?
Their luggage will be staged at the Godfrey Athletic Center, and then it'll stay there until your cadet finishes the matriculation process. After that's done, the cadet will go with their cadre back over to the Godfrey Athletic Center, collect all their stuff, and then they're allowed to unpack it in their room. So it'll be safeguarded while the cadets going through matriculation at Godfrey. It'll remain there. They'll be reunited with their luggage once they finish matriculating, and they'll have assistance with getting that stuff up to their room, unpacked, and setting the room up for the evening.
Thank you. There's a question about the uniform. I don't know, you or Colonel Porras. What uniform do cadets wear during class time, and is it different for different classes, we call them, instead of grades? So first class, second class, that kind of thing. So junior college versus high school, is there a difference?
You're going to see a difference the only difference in the uniform is our class A, the epaulets. On the college epaulets, you'll see a red stripe. That signifies them as a college cadet. but they wear the same. If they're asking about the different classes by the different grades, that's how you can identify them. The other thing you'll see is there's a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth class pins that they wear. And so when you get closer to a cadet and you can see that class pin, you can see what class they are.
Thank you. There is a question about the July 31st orientation, parent orientation. Is that Zoom? The answer was typically no, it's not Zoom, but it will be broadcast, and we'll certainly push that information out. So if you're unable to attend as a parent, I know there's some from foreign countries that can't be here, that you might be able to see those events. And that goes for a number of events here at NMMI. Just a reminder to a couple of communication points is beyond the Commandant's e-parents. And I've also always advised parents to join the parents Facebook. So you can always ask them. They're parents just like you, that you might have questions, and they can help answer some of those questions in a timely fashion. A question came up about hairstyles for different races of people. NMI closely follows the AR 670-1, which is an Army regulation, but as Colonel Hopi said, that certainly will be explained when you're here. So if you just need to look at that, there are certainly there in the Cadet Blue Book as well. It says, what differences are there with cadets doing ROTC? So I'm going to take that question not as JROTC. All high school students at NMI are JROTC. And then, of course, senior ROTC are those cadets who have signed a contract with the Army to go through that with Cadet Command. So there are significant differences with those as far as the classes and all they take there. And Colonel Hopi, is there anything you want to expand on that?
No, you'll see that the senior ROTC cadets will wear the Army OCP uniform. Other than that, you'll see them integrated into all the core activities like any other cadet. Yes, all high school cadets participate in the junior ROTC program.
Thank you. Well, folks, we've been at this about an hour, and so the questions have dried up over here on the ones from staff. So what we'd like to do is conclude tonight's event. We're really excited about your journey as it begins. We're all in this for you. We're in it for your success. And so whether we're involved in tutoring or in sponsorship, we're here day and night. We're here to make sure that you succeed and try and succeed. So come with that mindset. We'd love to share in your making history, making friends, and just being a part of the NMI family. It's such a storied place, 1891 to now. And so just welcome you all here and welcome to the NMI family. Welcome to the Old Post. Good evening.
Thank you, Colonel West. I just want to reiterate that this is my first year here, and I am in awe of everything that has been going on here. And I'm going to meld my educational experience into what NMMI has already been doing to make the school even better, to stand out more, and to look toward new technologies and things that will basically on the STEM and STEAM level as we start to work toward those things here. So I want to thank my staff for answering all of your questions. I want to thank all of the future cadets and parents for listening and being engaged and wanting to be here. And I look forward to seeing everyone on July 31st to go through what the expectations are from my level. Thank you.